Hello everybody, and thanks for checking out my review. For those of you that are familiar with the G-Shock lineup, I'm sure you're familiar with the Masters of G series, which basically just takes certain features and dubbed them certain names, and they put them into a Masters category. This one, if you go around the website forums, you're going to see it's kind of dubbed the King of G-Shock. It's the GX56-1A, and this is one I've been really looking forward to doing a review on ever since I had read about it maybe a couple of weeks before the Shock the World event took place. And when they had introduced this one at that event, the intriguing thing was what they did with the shock resistance, taking it just a step further than the original designs that they've come up with on the G-Shocks. It's a very large watch. It's the biggest square of the G-Shock lineup. It's of course got tough solar, and the shock resistance, I'm going to get into that. You have hard and soft urethane that surrounds the module. So what they did was they put the soft urethane on the inner part of the module, and then they put a hard coating of the urethane on top of that. Basically, if you work construction or if you're working a really hard job where your watch can take a beating, it's built so that the urethane takes the beating and not the module itself. What they also did to take it one step further is they put an alpha gel and they injected it around the inner bezel, just for a whole different layer of shock resistance. So if you could break this, congratulations and God bless, because it's just a really strong watch. Like I said, it is very large. It's shock resistant. As you can see, the buttons are kind of like what they put on the Mudman series, and they are a little bit harder to push than the regular buttons that you're going to find on your normal G-Shock lineup. But it's just going into the strength of the overall watch. What they also did was they put screws to hold everything in place rather than just using pins. Again, if you ended up on a construction site, you're pulling, pushing, hitting, bashing, beating, doing whatever to this watch, they try to do whatever they possibly could when they designed it to make sure that it's just not going to break. They also put a rubber coating or resin coating around the back case for a little added protection there. And like I said, I just can't get over the fact that it's just large. And I'm going to give you an example of that. I took an old G-Shock 5600C, one of the original versions that they had put out. And so you get an understanding of the size, side by side. You could probably fit two of the 5600Cs into this. I mean, it's just massive. And I also took, from the 25th anniversary, the 5600J style, which is a little bit bigger than the 5600Cs, and still, you understand what the difference in the sizes are. Just lining them up back to back. So, as you can see, it's just a large watch. It's also feature filled, and just to go through the modes, if you look at the screen, it's got the negative display on this particular version, and once again, I just have to compliment Casio on what they've been doing with these negative displays. They're very bright. They're easier to see in most lights. I like it. I like it a lot. What they also give you here is, of course, the time, 12 and 24 format. You have the date, the day, and if you press the setting button real quick, you can get your second time zone up on the top there as well. And going to the modes, you have your world time, you have your alarm, and you have four alarms plus a snooze, and then your hourly chime. You have your stopwatch, 24-hour stopwatch, and it's nice because it gives you the minutes over here and then the hours on top. You have a 24-hour timer, and it's pretty much a no frills as far as, you know, your major stuff. It's not like a G-Lide where you're getting the moon And the tide graph, it's just a straight up, if you need a watch that's going to take a beating, that's what it's there for. So I hope you enjoyed this review. I hope it's helpful if you wanted to get an idea on what the sizes are. It was important to me when I was first looking at it, because I was you know, you think it's going to come across as much smaller than it is, and then when you actually see it, it's pretty surprising. But it's actually got a very good fit. When you look at the size when you're holding it up, it looks much larger. And that's the fit. But then again, the trend seems to be going to the larger watches these days, so it fits in really well. So that's the King of G-Shocks. I hope you enjoyed the review. As I always say, don't be afraid to go to www.watchletteruseek.com. Gives you a lot of different reviews and discussions on watches if you have a good interest in it. Don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube link, www.youtube.com/DougFNJ. And I want to thank Casio for sending this out to me, and thank you again.